Welcome to the Evening of Philanthropy podcast. Today, we'll be talking with this year's Philanthropic Individual Honoree, Elise Burch. Elise has been involved in numerous community projects, including managing Women's Harvest House, directing a crisis pregnancy resource center, and teaching high-set GED classes to help students receive their high school equivalency diplomas. Now, sit back and prepare to listen to Elise's story. Without further ado, here's your host, Heather Clemens.
Hi, I am Heather Clemens, the marketing consultant for the United Way of the Mark Twain area, and we are talking to our honorees this year for the 2026 Evening of Philanthropy. And so today I have Elise Burch with me, and we are going to talk about the different agencies and organizations that you're involved in. First of all, congratulations for being an honoree this year.
Thank you, Heather. I'm excited to be here.
And so my first question for you is, Elise, can you tell me a little bit about what agencies and organizations that you're currently serving in or are a part of?
So I am mostly involved with the high-set GED classes here in town. I teach those 2 days a week, and on occasion, I go to the jail. I lead worship there, Bible study, and a few other things. But for the most part, this season of life has looked like managing my health. I'm currently on a transplant list for 2 organs, and that's kind of taking the most of my time right now.
And we got your interview out of the way first to make sure that if you get that call,
I appreciate that.
You're ready to go for sure. Community involvement means different things to different people. What does community involvement mean to you?
I think it spans everywhere from, our closest neighbors to the people that we're most unlikely to encounter in life in our own town. It's shocking to me the divide between some of us. We just never encounter the other. And that's kind of what I like the most about teaching, is that I've met people that I never would have met otherwise. Community involvement, I think, means that, like, you're reaching out beyond what you're comfortable with.
Right, and that's really a great way to put it, reaching out beyond what you're comfortable with. Yeah, that's beautiful. People choose to do anything with their time and talents. Lots of people volunteer at different places, and people may choose very different ways to give back to their communities as well. So what is your why as to the causes that you support or have supported?
I think that runs deep. I think a lot of us discount some of the generational reasons that we do things. Both of my grandmothers were teachers. My mother was a teacher. My grandfathers were public servants, police officer, judge, professor. I think it started from there. When I went to graduate high school, and kind of deciding what I was going to be the rest of my life, my mom told me I was going to be a teacher, and I fought against that tooth and nail. I said, no, never. I will never be a teacher. And when I graduated college, I immediately took a teaching position, teaching 3rd grade. It never felt like a job to me. It was always something that I absolutely loved. And from there, I just kind of kept at that, either on the side or full-time teaching, and it's been a lifelong love.
Yeah. And now you're teaching all sorts of different ages of people.
Yeah, pretty much from 17 to 62 we've had in our classes. It's definitely a wide range.
And what is your biggest reward for teaching that group?
I think just the everyday, like the unexpected, just running into the bank or getting my errands done and running into my students in everyday life and just seeing them happy and fulfilled, able to provide for their families, doing what they love doing. That's the most fulfilling, and that makes me the happiest.
Yeah, that would definitely be fulfilling. If someone wants to get involved in their community, where would you tell them to start?
Oh, I don't think we have time for that. I have so many ideas, because people have reached out and asked me that. Where I started with my love for the people in Hannibal was Loaves and Fishes. I moved to North Carolina for a while. I was born in Hannibal, lived in the surrounding towns, moved to North Carolina for a little while. And when I came back, my church here that I joined was doing Loaves and Fishes, as many of the organizations, churches, and groups do in Hannibal, which is, feeding people Monday through Friday. Groups volunteer each night to do that. And I just thought, this is so cool. Like, I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of this kind of thing in Hannibal. And I prayed, like I sincerely prayed that. And I had nowhere to live. I had just moved back. And my pastor said, hey, do you want to join? Could you be the live-in manager for the sober living house for the Harvest House? And so I joined the sober living ministry, Harvest Outreach, and I lived there and managed the women's house. And then from there, it kind of became, everything rolled on from there. I just kept getting more and more involved. I think as soon as you reach out and you especially pray to God, He gives you those opportunities as soon as you ask. I think that's something that He would definitely honor.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot more opportunities in our area than people even realize.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways that people can volunteer their time and, not just monetarily, but also volunteer their time.
For sure.
Yeah. So this year, our campaign theme is I Am United Way, and we have a lot of swag about telling our story. And it's so important for people to share their story with someone else. What part of your own story would you want others to resonate with the most?
I think mostly that I've learned not to judge and to try to understand. Because usually there's a reason for the way that people are and the things that people go through. There's always a reason. And a lot of the people that I work with are judged by either how they look or what they've done. And it's not accurate. It's very inaccurate. And I find myself over and over still judging, though the Lord has taught me a million times over. I often have men in their mid-40s come in after spending 15, 20 years in prison into the classroom, covered in tattoos, head to toe. And I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be fun. And it is. They do their work. They want to earn their diploma. They have these incredible stories where, it's sad that they ended up where they did for a while. But if I had been in their shoes, I would probably just not even be alive with what they've gone through. So it's just incredible. I think sit down and listen. Sit down and listen to people, because there's so much we don't know.
Yeah, there is. And, everyone wants to be seen and heard too.
Yeah. It's incredible. The respect that you give, you get. And I found that over and over in all aspects of life.
So if someone wants to get involved in their community, where would you tell them to start?
I would say food resources are huge, as far as Loaves and Fishes, as far as Douglas Community Food Pantry. And then there's options for women. They can always use volunteers. There's, of course, the High Set GED class. We can use tutors. We love that. And your local church. Your church likely has many aspects of it that can be served.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways out there.
Yeah.
And so, Elise, who inspires you?
My parents were very influential. They always gave me confidence. They encouraged me. They weren't the type to say, don't cross the road. They would say, don't cross the road because, they would tell me things. They encourage questions. And I've never felt, insecure in anything. I've always felt confident in my ideas, and I've always been motivated because of seeing their work ethic and their way of caring for people. I grew up in a household where my parents were foster parents, and we had more than 65 foster children filter throughout my childhood. And so they definitely raised me with having love and empathy and understanding and thinking outside of myself. And so I appreciate that. Of course, my students, just seeing how hard they work, and then they still come to class after work, and then they still are good parents, and that's all incredible to see. And then, of course, the people that support me, they always say, it takes a village to raise a child, and I've always said it takes a village for me. I need my village, and if I didn't have those people pouring love and support into me, then I couldn't pour love and support into others. And so it's a direct outlet from the love and support that I receive from so many in the community, so many of my fellow church members and family members and friends that have been so faithful, especially in my medical issues, just with transportation and staying overnight in the hospital with me, and everything that a friend should be. They've gone above and beyond that.
Yeah. And we definitely all need those people for support, for sure. And that encouragement. So, Elise, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Are there any parting thoughts you'd like to share?
I don't think so. I just do encourage people to get out of their comfort zone, because there's so much, even just in Hannibal, to learn. Mm-hmm. And go out there, get uncomfortable, and serve our community, because it's just all good. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Elise Burch as she discussed her years of service to the community. That's all for today. Thanks for tuning in to the Evening of Philanthropy podcast. See you next time.